This one isn't so much a rule, but there is a rule applied. When a perfect game is not a perfect game, surely there can't be any ambiguity surrounding a perfect game, or can there? Oh, yes. With people like the current commissioner in charge, I apologize that his name is fleeting right at the moment. He's so new that I don't remember his name. But anyhow, anything is possible. Rule 10.19F reads, no pitcher shall be credited with pitching a shutout unless he pitches the complete game, or unless he enters the game with none out before the opposing team has scored in the first inning, puts out the side without a run scoring, and pitches all the rest of the game. When two or more pitchers combine to pitch a shutout, a notion to that effect should be included in the league's official pitching records. Seems innocuous, doesn't it? Wrong. The key clause is this. Quote, unless he enters the game with none out before the opposing team has scored in the first inning, puts out the side without a run scoring. This effectively says, or I'll put it into layman's terms, that a pitcher cannot inherit three base runners in the first inning as long as he gets out of the inning with the score still 0. A perfect game is intact. This rule is responsible for the most imperfect perfect game in baseball history. Ernie Shore's infamous perfect game in 1970. Wow, that would make him a really old pitcher. Ernie Shore's infamous perfect game in 1917, rather, where the one where Babe Ruth was initially pitching for the Red Sox. Ruth threw four balls to allow a base runner. After a short kerfuffle, Ruth was, he was tossed from the game. He had quite the mouth on him while he was in Boston. Anyhow, Shore came in to relieve the Bambino, and the base runner was gunned down trying to steal second, and Shore then proceeded to retire the next 26 batters, in which he was credited with a perfect game. It's not an isolated incident either. Most recently, on May the 31st, 1998, Neil Allen managed to pitch a 3-hit shutout after replacing Al Leiter in the top of the first. His line for the his line for the entire season read, 0 complete games and 1 shutout. So it's possible you can you can pitch a shutout without actually pitching a complete game, thanks to Rule 10.19. So let's talk about fair balls and foul balls. This shouldn't be too difficult, but we all know the foul ball rule. If the ball is hit first, fair, and then touches foul territory before it crosses either first or third base, then it's called a foul. However, if a fielder interferes with a fair ball so that it goes foul, it is ruled fair. A perfect example of this can be found in a game played May 27th, 1981, between Kansas City and Seattle. The Royals were ahead 7-4, and Amos Otis tapped a dribbler down the third base line. Seattle third baseman Lenny Randle got down on all fours and proceeded to blow the ball over the line. Yes, he blew it, causing it to roll foul. The Royals manager, Jim Frey, not surprisingly, as he's supposed to, argued the call, while Randle claimed he was just praying that the ball would go out. The ump ruled that Randle was indeed interfering with Otis's ball, and he scored, and the play was scored as a hit. So while you watch the footage of Randle blowing the ball over the line, it's a pretty famous video, a pretty famous highlight. What the video does not show is it was actually ruled a hit and not a foul. Number 8, batting out of turn. Moving along. You'd think that batting is straightforward. As a hitter, you know your place in the order, and that is where you bat. However, if you have learned anything from any of my podcasts, it is that things might not be as they seem all the time. Batting out of turn is not as uncommon as you may think, and can cause great confusion between umpires as they decide what to do. Most recently, in Kansas City on July 1st, 2005, when David DeJesus achieved the rare feat of batting both first, check it out, and second in the first inning. I hope that didn't twist your mind like it has mine, but he batted both first and second in the first inning. This is what happened. Kansas City manager Buddy Bell delivered a different lineup to the umpires than was posted in the dugout. In the bottom of the first inning, David DeJesus led off with a single. Mike Scioscia, who was managing the Angels, spoke with the umpire Jerry Crawford about the batting order. Since Angel Baroa was listed as hitting first on the official lineup card, he was called out and DeJesus was told to bat again. This time he hit a fly ball to center field for the second out. There's another 50 incidences, but this one was particularly funny, and it's the most recent. But there's 50 other instances of players batting out of turn, and all are cataloged by those wonderful folks over at Retro Sheet. You can look that up online and find them. Number 9, rules for rules' sake. Remember, when you're playing ball or football or basketball with your younger brother and out of nowhere he announces a new rule that works to his advantage, everyone's had that happen to them. It happens all the time. Believe it or not, that situation isn't limited to playgrounds. It's also... It can also be found in the big leagues. Take a stolen base, for instance. Did you know that it used to be possible to steal first from second? Yes, you could run back. You could steal first from second. Why in the world would anyone want to do that? Well, if there's a runner on third stealing from second, it could distract the catcher and allow the runner from third to actually score. The last recorded instance of this happening was, you have to go all the way back to, let's see here, September 4th, 1908, when Detroit's Jeremy Schaefer did it against Cleveland. Soon after, the Rules Committee outlawed that practice as they thought it made a mockery of the game. And I don't know about you, but it sounds kind of fun. Moving along. There's other, you can go to retrosheet.com as well to see more on that, the stealing third to first legend. It's actually not a legend, but it sounds kind of fun. You should check it out. So finally, number 10 on our list, the Yankees bending the rule on pine tar. Cast your mind back to, let's see here, July 23rd, 1983, if you will. And the Yankees are leading the Royals 4-3 in the top of the ninth at Yankee Stadium. Royals first baseman George Brett spanks, he just clobbered a 2-run shot over the fence to give Kansas, the Royals, a 5-4 lead. But not so fast. Yankees manager Billy Martin sprinted out of the dugout and argued the call with the umps, and with his gripe being that George Brett used more than 18 inches of pine tar on his bat, meaning that the pine tar stretched more than 18 inches up his bat, the maximum allowed under the laws of the game. That is a technicality. And yes, the umpire overturned the home run, and the Yanks went on to win. George Brett famously burst out of his dugout and just blew up, probably mimicking how hard he hit the ball. But he went off like a nuclear bomb on the umps, and he had to be restrained and dragged back into his dugout. I mean, he was about to commit violence, and I'm talking the kind that would land you in jail for quite a few years. Nevertheless, after the game, the Royals protested, and it was eventually overturned by Major League Baseball. However, it was a little too late to help the Kansas City Royals in their march to the playoffs. Well, that's a wrap, folks, and by all means, let me know if you know of any other bizarre incidents or rulings or rules. I'm always down to hear about that kind of stuff, and I'm always willing to use what the listeners dig up for me. And email us at thinkslingermag, that is thinkslingermag@gmail.com, or you can go to thinkslinger.org, that is thinkslinger.org, and leave us a comment there. Thank you for tuning in to this particular broadcast of the Big Game James Show. It's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, and as usual, I'll see you next time on the Big Game James Show.